We all love a new character that looks absolutely insane for your current team composition. However, sometimes said character is not really worth dumping all your hard-earned gacha currency into, mainly because they aren't worth the time you just invested getting all those summons. My name is wtfmikxy, and today we will be talking about Qingyi and if she's really worth your pulls in Zenless Zone Zero. And this video will also be mainly directed if you are a free-to-play player or just a player who casually spends and is looking to see if it's worth getting Qingyi. Who is Qingyi? Well, Qingyi is an S-ranked electric type agent who is a part of the public service faction, or PubSec for short. We were all first introduced to Qingyi when we met Zhi Yuan during the main story of Zenless Zone Zero. And although we were introduced with Qingyi during the main story with Zhi Yuan, we actually didn't get to really play her at all. All we really got was the cinematic scenes, the dialogue, and she was help assisting you during the main story quest, where she would come in and swipe her staff and help you out if you were in danger. So in reality, we didn't get to really play much of Qingyi and see if she was actually a valuable character, which we will be talking about today in this video. Qingyi is also going to be a very good replacement for people who are rocking Ambi as your current stun agent. Or is she actually going to be? Currently, there are 3 stunners in this game: Kolita, Lycon, and Ambi. So if you're already well into this game and watching this video, you may be in a similar situation as me, as I am a current player that is using Ambi as my main stun character. And that is because I got Rina as my free standard banner character at the beginning of my gameplay and walkthrough of Zenless Zone Zero. So if you are like me and in a similar situation, then you might be using Ambi as your current stun character. Stun characters are also very important in this game because stun characters build up daze, causing enemies to end up immovable and unable to attack you back, or literally as the type of character they are represented as, they would be stunned, creating lots of openings for you, the player, to deal lots of damage with your main DPS character or set up for chain attacks. Now with that out of the way, you understand the importance of having a stun character on your team, whether you do use a stun character or you don't. Now the main reason why Qingyi may be a skip for a lot of players is the sole fact that she is a 5-star stun electric character. Now every player already owns a stun electric character in Zenless Zone Zero. That character is Ambi. She is practically the A-ranked agent version of Qingyi. Now from personal experience, because I personally utilize Ambi a lot in my current team composition of Zhi Yuan, Ambi, and Rina, followed up with Plugboo, I actually really like this team. It is very fun, I do lots of damage, and they basically get the job done. Although in reality, I should probably just use Zhi Yuan, Ambi, and Nicole. Now in all seriousness though, obviously I am not currently stating that Ambi will be better than Qingyi, and I'm stating for your team composition of course, because honestly if that were to happen, I would riot and also probably half the community, because Qingyi being an S rank, that would not make any sense. Now with that said, Ambi is a very capable stun character and she has potential to carry what needs to be done as a stun character. Now why would you want to use Ambi over Qingyi? Well, there is a couple of reasons. The first reason I want to talk about is team composition and the current characters you may currently have on your main team in Zenless Zone Zero. Now if you are trying to save your polychrome and your summons, if you do not have any 5-star stun characters like Kolita and Lycan, then maybe you consider going for Qingyi. But there is also more things involved. It is very important that 3 characters you select per team work together well, and you get the bonus buffs from using characters that like working together. For example, characters that are the same element or from the same faction gain buffs from working together to add extra complexion to actually building a good team composition. Now if you are in a scenario where let's say you ended up with Lycan, then in all honesty I really hope you consider pulling for Ellen, because Lycan and Ellen are from the same faction, they work really well together, and Ellen's go-to stun character is Lycan because they synergize really well together. Also, let's not forget to mention, if you do have Lycan, he is quite frankly currently one of the best stun agents you could ever ask for in Zenless Zone Zero. Despite being made mainly for Ellen as his go-to partner when it comes to being a stun agent, he is very versatile and a very good pickup, especially if you started the game with him, as he fits into any and almost every single team composition as a stun character. If I had him and didn't have Zhi Yuan, although I could use Zhi Yuan and Lycan, I would definitely be skipping Qingyi in this scenario. However, in my likely case that other people could be finding themselves in, if you ended up pulling for Zhi Yuan, then considering Qingyi is the thing you must do. As I just mentioned before, pairing agents who like to work together gives you a slight edge on gaining extra benefits throughout your team. Now beside that fact, Zhi Yuan is currently one of the best damage dealers in the entire game. So pairing her up with Qingyi, who has capable stuns and is a part of Zhi Yuan's faction, is a good reason to pick up Qingyi. And to fully benefit from Qingyi, you will get the best Zhi Yuan teammate that you could possibly have. I mean, even in the story they they work together, so let's be real here. Of course they're going to be great together. But like I was saying earlier in this video, this does not mean that Ambi is a bad option or a bad replacement for Qingyi. And as I've been saying, I have been using Ambi and she does get the job done pretty well for the most part. Having Zhiyuan, in my opinion, is definitely one of my biggest deal breakers for actually pulling for Qingyi. Now with that said, for a long-term investment, this can actually be a double-edged sword, because if you are in my shoes and only have Ambi as your main stunner and Zhiyuan, if you do go for Qingyi, now you got two stunners of the same element, leading to less flexibility when it comes to building teams up, and this could potentially hinder your endgame content experience. Although, don't get me confused, because Qingyi in herself is actually an agent that you can build lots of team compositions around, and she is very flexible. But you also must consider that having two different types of stun elements would be better than having two of the same for your team comps as well, because you are going to need to build up two teams in total. But I also do keep in mind that you only can run 3 elements at a time per team comp, which means we have still yet to scratch the surface about how many team compositions we can actually make and if stun is going to be included in those team compositions. So maybe skipping a 5-star stun agent might not affect you at all. Another cool thing about Qingyi is in her core passive, she builds up stun damage multiplier and gains stacks of that when doing a perfect dodge, which is something that Ambi does not offer. Now I will say this does make a difference, but not a significant one that would render Ambi unusable. Also, in recent changes, because Qingyi actually just recently got buffed, she does way more stun multiplier. I will not say that she is insanely different and now a must pull. I really do think when summoning agents or characters in any gacha game, and this to be honest took me a long time to understand, mainly because I personally may or may not have slightly fell victim to wailing on other gacha games. When I decided I was going to play Zenless Zone Zero free to play, I do not regret my decision, because if you haven't played a gacha game free to play, I would highly recommend it. And it also really helped me come to terms with some things and some rules when it comes to being a free to play player. I am actually having lots of fun because deciding which characters to pull to help your account long term is very important. Now going back on topic here, I am not part of the creator server or in any way affiliated with Hoyoverse. Cough cough. Sorry, I just felt a little sick. Although I would love to playtest new agents or characters coming out. Anyways, Qingyi, because of her passive, also fits in a lot of team compositions, because unlike other stun agents, Qingyi can actually still activate her passive, making her basically more versatile to work around, which is a big plus. However, I'm going to go back on the topic of team building and what I was saying before. Is Qingyi really worth it for your account? Well, we are in the early stages of Zenless Zone Zero. The game has just released and there is a lot of agents that will be coming out in the near future. We actually just got the first agent 1.2 drip marketing not too long ago while I was making this video. That character's name is Caesar and she looks... Now without going too much off topic here, because this is a video about Qingyi, I do feel as if she is very skippable. But I say this in the direction that you can skip her and you probably wouldn't bat a second eye and regret it later down the road. Because like I just mentioned before, we are in the early stages of the game and we have yet to see a lot of characters come out yet or even learn about their abilities in the game to make other types of teams with. To put it simply, I believe there is just not enough testing yet. An example of this is the other 1.1 agent that is coming out to us named Jane Doe. I personally would get her. I do not even care about statistics or meta when it comes to her. I just fell in love with their design and everything in her kit. Now moving along, the reason I mentioned Jane Doe is because of the fact that she's a physical anomaly 5-star agent, and currently we do not have a really good anomaly agent yet, unless if we're talking about Grace Howard. So I cannot really picture her being a bad pick. As a matter of fact, if we do think about it by an educated prediction, again this is my prediction, although we do not know much about Jane Doe's potential as a character, I feel as if she's going to be one of the best ones to date. So I see a bunch of content creators, because I do as well watch other creators to basically not only help myself understand certain terms and the game better, and to help better my videos for you guys when I give my takes, but to understand other creators or people's opinions when they form a narrative or ride by a certain statement that they believe in. Now what I am going to do, despite that I am a free to play, is try to grind for both the 1.2 agents, and I am going to be honest, I might be one of the only people, because this is very risky. Now I am not particularly happy about going for Qingyi only for one reason, because I do love her character and I think she's actually pretty cool. Now that reason is that, like I mentioned before earlier in this video, she's basically, without having to go into detail, a S ranked Ambi. Now while I do appreciate getting lots of useful insight from other gacha creators about the buffs that were added to Qingyi, because like I said before, I am not a part of the creator program, so I have to learn this information through other content creators, I still do feel as if she is not a must-have on my team. However, for me, I do not have a S rank stun agent and I do currently have Zhiyuan. Now again, comparing Ambi to Qingyi for my account is the sole fact that I am going to be going for Jane Doe probably for my second team. But to also finish collecting all the PubSec agents. I mean, I might as well do it at that point, right? I have Zhi Yuan, and I am going for Qingyi to finish my first team. Now, I really don't know if I'm going to run Nicole over Rena for my first team, but I will be pulling for Qingyi mainly because the stars are aligned for me. Also, for my free 5-star agent selector, when I've summoned enough, I'm going to be getting Grace for my account. Not for any meta reasoning, but because to be honest, I am thinking that Anomaly is going to be my favorite path for character types in Zenless Zone Zero. My overall opinion on summoning Qingyi is if you absolutely have no other stun character besides Ambi, and you are going for the PubSec faction character collection, then why not go for her? But also do keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, there will be a lot of new characters coming out later on as the game starts aging a bit. I know lots of people are already excited for characters like Miyabi and the future factions we are going to be seeing later down the road. Again, remember these are just my opinions. I was not in any type of playtest and can't give you a calculated breakdown Qingyi's worth for your account. All I can do is give you common knowledge and stuff to think about when you're deciding to pull for Qingyi or not. I know a lot of content creators will be skipping Qingyi, but I will be one of them that will be trying to gamble my luck and getting her. And if I lose my 50-50, at least I'll be able to get Jane Doe guaranteed. Well, those are my thoughts about pulling for Qingyi. If you guys did gain something valuable from this video, whether you disagree with me or agree with me, or maybe I helped you finally make your decision on summoning or not summoning Qingyi, please smash the subscribe button down below so you can find your way back to my channel. Also, while you're down there, please comment your thoughts about Qingyi and your opinions because I would love to hear them. Lastly, I also have an amazing Discord community with lots of members who are anime fans and gacha enthusiasts alike, pinned in the comment section down below. That is all for now. See you guys in the next one. Peace.